I think you need
You not just
support.
Terrorblade here? Surely. Surely you just Terrorblade against this,
10
right?
seconds
Yeah,
You've got
remaining.
two heroes that are going to go in onto the front lines. It's a great carry-to-carry matchup against the
5
Luna.
seconds
You're not going to
remaining.
get killed in a single like storm zip, like we've seen, other carries potentially have done to them. Laning matchup is okay,
yeah. What are you really worried
right?
about laning into? 100%. I think you go for it. I mean,
Like
what?
IO's low damage. You want to pair IO with someone that's good at right clicking, and TB doesn't care about right clicking. And you've got Glimpse for whenever they're going to like run away from you. Just glimpse them back with a metamorphosis, they're dead.
100%. I think it looks like one of the better picks here for Yangon. It's a
Radiant
question of do
team
they
ban.
go for
I mean, against a Lunar, it's
carry.
okay, I guess.
So to me, like this just reads that they are putting more value on a Shadow Demon in this game than what they think the Terrorblade can provide them. That do you read that with them going for their support here
10
instead of like
seconds
the Terrorblade,
remaining.
which is I think if they don't ban it, then maybe they
5
don't
seconds
value it as
remaining.
much as what we do this game. So
It's hard to read anything else from it, right? Like,
hmm.
just trying to think what they could potentially be looking to do with this. I guess it's a good setup for the laning stage. Shadow Demon, Disruption to Mars Spear, Burst combinations,
Dire
sure, sure,
team
sure.
ban.
You're on the dire side, so you can get some nice stacks up. Um,
Radiant team
but
ban.
what core are you picking to enable taking stacks is the real question. And I mean, it might just be a situation that KSH doesn't play a ton of Terrorblade, and Polaris have scrimmed against Yangon enough to know that. I mean,
Dire
just look at what they're
team
banning,
ban.
right? Heroes that we've seen him play a whole lot more, even though they might not be the better carry to carry matchup against this Luna. Also, you
The
don't know exactly what offlaner you're going up against yet, but it's not like there were many laners remaining that would have been good against a TB.
yeah.
10
The Deucer
seconds
was the other
remaining.
hero that I was going to mention. Because I just thought they were going to
5
ban
seconds
Terrorblade, so that was
remaining.
something that was like, all right, then maybe they think about the Deucer. So I don't have
Radiant
that on the
team pick.
cards. Okay, Tired, Night
You've
Stalker.
still got a Shadow Demon though, right? Like Shadow Demon's good against the Luna for obvious reasons, just disrupt him. But if you go a TB, you can just do the exact same thing. Like, be the ones pushing, force them to come into you, which, if you
10
know it's
seconds
coming,
remaining.
it's so much more comfortable. Your supports can set up around
5
Fog of
seconds
War, as
remaining.
opposed to just being caught out potentially by Vision. And these are two support. Like, is Night Stalker banned? Surely it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
he is. Do you just go back into the
Um,
Pango for Force? Like, is this? It's not really much of a draft, and they don't have ways to really deal with Rolling Thunder.
yeah, love it. What can a Shadow Demon do? What can a Disruptor do? Absolutely nothing.
So we've seen at least they put some value on the Io Pango. Force looked really good with it in game one. We've seen his Doom as well, but I think that might be a little bit too greedy, cooldown reliant. I think you need something that's a little bit lower cooldown to
You
kind
need
of.
someone else to jump in with Storm, essentially, is what I
Yeah,
want. And I
yeah.
feel like Doom isn't quite that.
Okay. Um.
It doesn't provide the lockdown to allow Luna to just stand there, and that's exactly what Luna wants to do.
Dire team pick.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep.
I mean,
Mm,
Pango's decent versus TB. I like the Rolling Thunder and I like the Disarm, but I don't think it really puts you off the Terrorblade being picked up.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm mulling in my head whether a position 1 Bloodseeker is
5
doable.
seconds remaining.
We've seen it in Eastern Europe.
Phantom
EA has.
Now
I mean,
select
again,
your
this
heroes.
this just feels like comfort, right? Like Yangon are obviously a team that leans heavily into that as to what's going to work out for them. But you feeling this?
Don't you lose that lane? It's a Pango into Io, so you've got a melee carry that I think is relatively weak in the lane, and you are going to out sustain. He's just going to spam dagger. You're going to spam. You're just going to sustain through dagger, through Thunderstrike, and I think you can actually turn around with these kills. Um,
Distinct possibility. I mean, of course, late game PA, anything's possible,
yep.
right? But
What?
can you get to that stage? And this time around, it's not like last game where you had a life stealer who's okay at pushing, but that's only at a certain point. You win a team fight, you are great at pushing. Just not even just the Luna on its own, the Luna Blessing plus everyone else hitting the towers, and you've got an Ogre to buff you up as well. So I feel like while they were in the first 30 minutes of game one pretty severely lacking in damage on Polaris, that's not the case this time around.
No, not at all. It definitely feels like with their ways to be able to take Roshan at such an early stage, they're also on Radiant, so naturally going to be favored to move towards that area of the map. I mean, you've got, like you said, the Ogre Bloodlust, the Io to help you out. You've got the Lucky Shot minus armor, the Lunar Blessing. You've got a lineup that can take Roshan at an early stage and really look to control the map. A lot of Io's lineups, they like to go for pickoffs, but you are into a Phantom Assassin. This is a hero that needs a lot of space, a lot of time. And I'm a bit worried that he's not going to get it because I think this is a really... I think it's going to be favored for Polaris with this Pangoli and the Io versus the Phantom Assassin Disruptor. So all eyes on what you can get on KSH. We will jump over the game even though we are paused. There's some banter once again. So looks like we're not paused for too long. What they say.
They're calling the Lucia Storm-only player. A one-trick.
I mean, you see my guy's Ember? Sheesh. His Ember kind of goes crazy.
Is Leshrac too? Very good.
Death Prophet.
Yeah,
too?
It's true.
Just go through all his heroes.
I'm worried about like this PA Disruptor Shadow Demon doing nothing.
Yeah.
First like 20 minutes or so of the game. Well, not doing nothing, but like Storm and Pango just annihilating you, or you know, you're a PA, you're not going to be part of a lot of those early engagements. So it's going to be rough for those ones in particular. But if you're able to get through that stage and not actually lose a ton of towers, basically what I'm saying is Mars and Void Spirit need to have insanely good games for Yangon to win this, in my opinion.
Well, they don't have the greatest
30
way to
seconds
kill
to
the
battle.
Void Spirit through, I think, honestly, like yours and pre-Blink from Pango.
Yeah, I guess. He's not the tankiest of heroes, though, right? Like, if he doesn't get off his spells, if you're able to catch him out with the Electric Vortex into an Ignite, into a Stun, there's damage potential there, sure, to be able to take him out super early on. Again, I feel like this is going to be a similar story to what we saw with Motivate
battle
Trust against
begins.
Little Gun, where you've got an Ogre,
Well, this
Ogre,
might...
speaking
Yeah.
on a little bit, yeah.
Maybe it's just face checks 5 heroes in the river and they all surround him. It's like, all right. Yeah, you want this bounty rune? No chance. It's going to be skill 8 to find our first blood and off to a good start for Yangon.
What else they did that's good? They learned from last time around. Blockety block of the small camp against a Storm Spirit. Very important that you do that. She, speaking of blocky blocks, he did a full body block of that creep wave, so it's going to go back in underneath his tower. He's going to look to hit up onto level 2 before Young PH does, although I don't think you can actually too much pressure or kill threat onto him either, so not going to really result.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, he didn't get the range. Oh, no, no, no. Hate to see it
Dire's
for
top tower
your boy
is
Young
under attack.
PH. Right, how we looking at the other lanes? I am more intrigued about this Phantom Assassin lane because we were both thinking about other carry being picked up. So I'm really intrigued if the Pango Io is going to be able to have a good lane and kind of bully out the PA. Who's he's going all corrosion, so you got to get kills if you're going for this build.
Again, it's another one of those cases where you just go on the eye.
Well, they might get kills. Savi's almost getting brought down. One more dagger, but okay, so it's just out of range.
It's going to stay back for now. Doesn't need to tether up with the Pango. Might even force out a little bit of extra mana from the Yangon lane. No, he wants to salve, or at least use another Tango. May as well get double value out of it. They don't put the pressure onto him, so he's just like, all right, whatever. Just going to use a Tango instead. Yeah, what I was saying before.
bottom lane, hold that
actually
thought.
might get a spear.
Banishment set up as Mars finds a connection.
Ogre, though.
And Natsumi's getting some time just to beat down Mars, and this Ignite's about to tick out as well. Mars has still got the Fairy Fire to play with, but they're making sure they surround and block him into this tree line as And Natsumi picks up the kill, and I mean, Mavis, he knows he's just gonna die. He may as well do as much damage as he can before they take him into the grave.
He used the second mango there. He wanted to get the ignite off as well onto skill A, but a little bit too late. Really, I think it's the last second, but wasting a little bit of gold in the instance there. I feel like, again, what I was saying before, as actually can't say that, top lane getting dived underneath the tower is Zorain by Force and Xavier. It's going to be hard for Mars, right? Because you're coming up against a Luna. As soon as she hits level 4, it's going to be very challenging. Mavis is probably going to hit level 3 at the similar sort of timing. So
Force is actually in trouble top.
Oh.
They're going to continue to chase. KSH is like, do I go back? Do I farm? With Io nearby, I mean, you see... I think Xavier's got headdress coming up. Or did he finish it?
Yeah, yeah. It's right there on the courier.
Oh my... Okay.
Okay, see?
I was gonna say,
You thought it was just going to walk through the lane.
dude, surely this courier does not die. Are you considering going a second point Thunderstrike in this lane? Because it feels like you're all on kills going over corrosion.
No, absolutely. Like, you want 2 points in it, and then you can max points after that point.
I guess another thing is...
Doubling the damage for 1 point. Kind of nuts.
Yeah, and I mean, the mana cost goes up by barely anything. 10? Yeah, you're not really concerned about that at all. Lane, though, looking like it's... Well, they lose 17 and 5 compared to the 18 and 3. PH is going to be a bit cautious at the moment, but playing around with some of the physical absorption. We do have the water runes coming up shortly as well, so probably both sides just going to try and spam this out and fall back and pick up the runes.
Are fortified.
Once again, Bars into this Ogre lane is suffering in terms of net worth. He's basically level with the Shadow Demon right now, and it's only going to get worse as soon as Natsumi hits up onto level 4. I would guess that he puts a second point into the Lucent Beam, and it's just about consistently spamming out, bullying them out of the lane. Mavis is doing a really good job again at just making sure you cannot lane into this, or you're just using an incredible amount of net worth purely on sustain. Bracer, the infused raindrops. He's going to get a later than ideal Helm of Iron Will, although actually out here, Luna's the one to catch.
He's got a bunch of one charges. I mean, they might just turn it back around. He's still going to be a bit cautious. Looks like the damage hasn't really stacked up too much for them to be in a position to do so. Aggression though in our lanes as KSH kind of jump Xavius at the moment. Got some sticks to play around with, but they brought him low enough for that last right click to secure the kill. Is very nicely done for the Yangon duo up top. Also still battling. I don't know. This is a tricky matchup. Able to get a little bit of distance away, but PA instantly jumping over the tree line and... Oh, another attempt, yeah.
That time around, unfortunately, obviously, lots of action going on, but he had a full inventory, so once he got those boots delivered, he had to end up switching them in from the backpack, so wasn't able to get that instant boost bonus, but definitely the way that you want to go for these lanes for Yangon, right? Like, you're getting kills on the right people. The IO, very killable. Force there without the IO backing him up, much more squishy. And Mavis dying a couple of times. You could afford that because he's providing a lot of space for Luna to be able to
Don't let Roche deny.
Okay.
Very nice, very nice.
Blown away.
We saw in our previous game, Polaris put a lot of emphasis on stacking for Lelouch. It's a lot easier.
Just be careful here.
Maybe Natsumi's like, alright, I mean, the Ogre's falling low, gives me an opportunity just to run past and deal damage for free. He's only got 2 stacks on Mavis, so he's not going to go down just yet. Mars continuing to man fight because he knows young PH is connecting bottom with the help of the haste rune, so it blows up the Ogre. Now he's got another charge as well for Natsumi. What a rotation from the Void Spirit, securing the double kill.
Is under attack.
Yeah, excellent rotation coming through from young PH. There's not a ton of vision up right now. It's really only right next to the lane, so wasn't able to see them quite in time. That death as well from Skilla even gives him the bottle refill.
Oh, Xavius again. He's going to be in trouble top. Zorain and KSH continuing to put the pressure on the IO. And now KSH has got the level 6. He's going to attempt the TP in it, and it looks like Zorain, he has overstepped the boundary. So the Disruptor will be penalized for this. You'd love to get the extra experience, of course, for Force. I mean, once he finds that level 6, and it feels like they have kill threat now into the Phantom Assassin. So I will say, I mean, this lane's gone... Actually, what's the net worth before I speak? Yeah, Yeah, Pango's a little bit behind, not too far, but 4 kills at the moment for Yangon up top.
Mavis up here as well, so you have to wonder how long Natsumi can actually feel safe standing down to this bottom side. Just wanting to hit up onto level 6, I guess, so now he can rotate back with that extra point in the Lunar Blessing to the jungle. ASH, though, he's got the Ignite onto him. That's a level 2 Ignite.
Oh, wow.
Nice juke, though.
Does Force continue going? Swash still on cooldown.
Dyer's top tower
Okay, Sage
is
gonna be
under
okay.
attack.
So he's going to back
Force
off.
into the jungle, perhaps? I mean, again, you've got to go for frequent kills. He's been part of 4, but just still feels like you're not going to have the same potential as this Luna to be able to flash farm in your jungle. Hell, even a Storm Spirit.
A minor thing is as well is that Young PH, he was thinking about TPing top and then he cancelled it. So in any fight that breaks out, if Polaris, I don't think they saw this, so they aren't able to really use this to their advantage, but Lelouch, they don't have Aether Remnant to try and blow up the Storm Spirit. In fact, he's even got some assistance as well with Mavis cutting on the back line, and
Dyer's top tower is
Xavius, he's even going to think about stepping into the fray as well.
has been killed.
Zip to be able to secure a courier kill, but well worth it at this stage of the game. Just goes to show the power of the IO. I feel like Xavius is going to be playing a whole lot more
Dire
around
are
Lelouch
scanning.
now that, he's died a couple of too many times on the top side of the map. Doesn't want to give away a lot of that free gold and experience over to a PA. Again, this early game is all about delaying that PA's
Radiant's
timing so
bottom
that she's
tower
not
is
this
under
late game
attack.
beast that can actually fight into your Lunar Death Ball.
Rolling Thunder for Pango. I guess that is going to be a bit of an issue. If, like, there's a creep wave connecting, then PA can always dodge that first stun. And if you don't have a position to bounce back off, then you might just
Radiant's
waste your
bottom
ulti.
tower
So
is under attack.
see how cautious they're going to be
Radiant
with this
structures
guy,
are
though.
fortified.
Smoked up. Moving towards a triangle where Xavius and Natsumi currently positioned. They got 3 heroes in the area from Dire. They might look to Lelouch instead. He's got about half health and mana to work with. Void Spirit's really that killer hero they have to be cautious of, and he's going to reveal himself. Getting rid of the eye, but now it's the supports that are going to be in trouble, as Mavis once again in a position to block the escape avenue. So a 2-for-1.
Going to get a lot of this de-warded as well, right? Like, you've dropped down the sentry ward.
Radiant's bottom tower
It's
is
there
under
to make
attack.
sure that there wasn't any kind of sentry blockage of the ancient camp, of course, but very
Radiant's
easy
bottom
to make sure
tower
that you
has
don't have that
fallen.
high ground vision. Again, Yangon, they're an aggressive team. A lot of their vision is on or close to the Polaris side of the map.
On PH.
The
He's
bottle
actually going to
refill.
get some assistance. Yeah, look at the bottle refill mid-fight. But
Gonna give
Lelouch
it
is
back to
like,
him.
oh, regen. Oh, he's hipped on past it. They're going to get hit.
Already
Xavius.
activated too.
Tether's on
Io's got the
cooldown
bottle,
as well,
actually.
but I mean, let's see who's going to end up dying first. Mars is going to try and make his first rotation, slams the shield onto the Storm. Now we can follow up with the Spear as well to get rid of the Ogre. A 3-for-1 with the extra hero showing up in the river.
Dyer's structures are fortified.
Wait a minute.
What's going on?
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
Okay. I was wondering where Storm's bottle was. I would have
Radiant
hated to see
structures are
Xavius accidentally,
fortified.
like, drop it in that team fight instead of
Dire's
onto the
top
Storm, but it
tower
was on the
has
Storm's
fallen.
courier.
Okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for the courier as well. I don't see it inside the base. Relocate mid. First ultimate of the game. Oh, he's going to bounce Mars back towards the Lelouch as well. A quick and easy kill to the Mars, and now they're looking for more of the squishier supports as well. Young PH ready and waiting, trying to find the angle. Now it's Zorain coming over, but
reload.
Static Storm not going to be fast enough. At least KSH will look to get involved, putting some form of a Phantom Assassin statement to end that fight.
That damn fountain regen, able to provide the Lelouch with the safety to be able to get right on back. It felt a little odd that they didn't use the spear there on the Mars immediately onto the Storm Spirit. Sure, it might whiff, but it's well worth it if it's going to be able to get you away after some really good positioning. I mean, that's how you play against a Pango. He rolls onto you, run towards a cliff
Radiant's
so that he
bottom
tries
tower is
so
under
that he can
attack.
accidentally knock you up and you break the chain stun onto yourself.
Triple bounty. Young PH is like, all right, let me just juice him up a little bit. All the refills back to full health. Ooh.
ASH. Getting a nice little stack up. So if you're a mid laner and you're able to get that off, he ends up blocking the hard camp with it, but we'll ignore that.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, things are looking really good for Dire. Mars had a great lane, 2, 2, and 4, but he got a very early tower bottom.
Blessings upon a
First
loyal
involvement
warrior.
mid, so now he's
Radiant's
already got a
top
blink
tower is
completed
under
12
attack.
minutes in. Void Spirit about to have your Scepter. You've got your level timings on your supports, and it's just Yangon. They need to continue to make space here for the Phantom Assassin.
Pango's got a good timing as well, though. He's got a blink dagger at 12 minutes, so he's going to be providing just as much as Yangon will. And of course, he's going to be playing a lot more around Natsumi, because
Dire are
Luna
scanning.
good at pushing towers, so why
Davis.
not play to that advantage
Oh,
that you've got?
nice position. Pops the smoke. Now the rest of the Radiant. Force gonna reveal his blink, so they'll cut down the life of the Disruptor. But simultaneously to the western side, Natsumi's in trouble until Xavier's flies on over, provides enough help. Now he gets the relocate away. Xavius is doing it all for Polaris. Now they'll be able to bring down the Void Spirit as well. My God.
And he's even just going to come straight back on here, refill up Lelouch, even
Dire's
give him the
middle
bottle
tower is
refill.
under
It's
attack.
crazy how much this IO Storm Spirit's able to do. But Xavier's, even without the Storm
Dire's
connection, is
structures are
making so
fortified.
much work happen.
Now, look at this. I love this play. Natsumi's beating onto the tower. 3 hero smoke. You're looking to backstab. Arena on cooldown. And now you've got the Orca timing just to blow up this Shadow Demon. Is able to get at least the banishment off, and it sets up for a great static storm, but you brought down the Mars, you brought down the Shadow Demon. You're lacking damage early at this stage in the game without Void Spirit feeling like he can just jump in with ease. A triple for Lelouch. You haven't taken away the key concepts that Polaris had in their Game 1 victory.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a pretty action-packed game number 1 once we got to the end stages of it, but at the 14-minute mark, it definitely wasn't the case. I think it was probably about half the kills that we're seeing so far, but we're getting 2 kills a minute right now, and I feel like that's purely on the back of Polaris realizing, hey, we're an aggressive team too. We're against a PA. We've got to make this action happen, and they've got a Luna instead of a Life Stealer, and they've got an Ogre Magi instead of a Bane. So much damage.
He's onto
early on.
another one. This time it's going to be the Void Spirit picked off for Lone. They need one more stun. And he'll find it. No Dissimulate, no Astral Step at the last second.
Haste.
Now Lelouch is like, more blood, more heroes, let me go. I'm all on board. Another zip on past the T2 tower. Let's see if they're going to be able to penalize how deep they are, but Lelouch not caught inside the arena, so a quick and easy kill, taking the life of the Shadow Demon.
Davis has finished a Veil. This is a 15-minute Veil. Not
my.
the best timing, but still very good whenever you're paired up together with, honestly, all of their heroes. You know,
Yep.
very skill-dependent, and it's going to buff up their damage a
Dire's
whole
bottom
lot and
tower is
put
under
more of the
attack.
pressure onto this PA to... I mean, she'll want to join the team fights, but you just can't. You've got to make space. You've got to do as much as you can to prevent yourself from getting sucked in to a lot of these engagements at this stage.
So just needing that one more component
Stupendous.
towards the Battle Fury. And KSH is 2-0-3, 100 last hits, flawless game so far for the Phantom Assassin, but it's going to be...
Net worth tells the story.
Yeah, net worth really does, and it's a struggle now because Radiant, they've got so many ways to stop you from farming across the map. I mean, nighttime, you're always going to have vision advantage, so it's so difficult for you to position. You got Storm to jump. You can always relocate. Your Pango's already got Blink. What else has he got? Your Scepter as well. So the chain control. We're going to see Force try and reveal at the moment. Long zip in. Can Force get that stun after the Your Scepter? Yes, sir, he can. Oh, Force, my God, you're so good on this hero.
You gotta respect it, and we were thinking, like, I understand why they got rid of a lot of the other heroes for offlaners. It was like, what, Nightstalker was removed, LC was removed, but I feel like this Pango is a higher priority than a Legion Commander to remove from this sort of equation, because I mean, you're not overly stacked with Lockdown that a Legion Commander is going to be incredibly effective, right? Like, it's basically just a Mars Spear at the time that they were looking to remove from, with the Press the Attack.
Hey, Danog, what do you know? DD, front of the Roche Pit. Not that I really think they needed it, any
Radiant's
extra
bottom
assistance,
tower
but
is under attack.
you take the help from Daddy Gaben.
Early-ish Kaya as well from Lelouch. He's already got the Orchid. Kaya
Dire
coming out to
are
him now.
scanning.
Just able to stay out on the map. I mean, yeah, again, Orchid, Kaya,
Oh, not
Iron.
again. Skilly's behind the Void Spirit. Zorain ready and waiting as well to try and drop the Static Storm. They're going to push him out, but once again... I've just got to stop this. You just have to stop making this amount of crazy plays.
And Void Spirit even forced to use the Yule Scepter on himself so he doesn't tick out to an Ogre. Oh. Give away the fact that they've got vision in this lane, though. It's nighttime. Shouldn't have been able to target Skill A Mavis there unless he had an Observer Ward down in the lane. So it gives them a little bit of information. Soga's just going to become more and more of a menace. You're still a long ways away from BKBs on anyone on Yangon Galacticos. So you hit level 10, you get that increased ignite damage per second, plus the Veil. Good luck dealing with all of this outside of the Yule Scepter.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And now you can just...
You need to make a decision about top, yeah.
I mean...
Bloodlust on Luna.
Is there a really decision to make? I don't think you can defend this. PA still...
Oh, it's just a matter of do you glyph or not?
Oh, right. Not defending, it's like... Shit. We're at a stage where we just got to glyph and just hope it stalls out and we get more farm across the map. I don't know, this is a tough one.
Lush. Got the Arcane Rune bottled. Plenty of levels right now. We've got the Philosopher's Stone on the IO. What's he looking to farm up here? What are you doing down bot?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Team? I don't need to connect with team. Tier 2 tower mid.
I think he just realizes relocate is up, so if they were to push mid, he's got Storm Spirit next to him. Very easy relocate into another tier 2 tower. Trying to force out the glyph at this stage. If they don't, then you're going to lose the tower and probably next Roche. Ooh, reload's coming on the backlines.
Force as well, charging up the Rolling Thunder. They'll take away the life of the Shadow Demon. And now with Young PH evacuating away from the area, they'll just turn to another support kill as well. Speaking about that relocate just to join, they've got the ward as well by that secret shop, so they're going to scout out Mars's positioning. He can try and push the Storm left, right, as best as possible, but it's not going to matter as Mavis gets the claim for the kill. I mean, Young PH, he's under the ward as well. He's got a little bit of mana to work with, and I tell you what, Young PH, he doesn't have a lot of abilities either. Trying to at least pop the Yules, get a little bit of repositioning, but with Mavis standing hand in hand, somehow the Ogre, with how slow he is, he's always in the middle of the fight. You have to take this. They're diving past your towers. Finally, KSH is going to feel like this is the fight for him to show up. Nice but they haven't dealt with Xavier's eyes, so the sustain is too much for them to handle. They'll blow up the PA. Now the Disruptor's going to fall on the tree line as well. They will... at least a consolation prize is getting the life of the Storm Spirit, but it costs you so dearly.
For sure. I mean, Luna's ballooned out of control, even just backdooring a tier 1, not needing the creep wave there for it. They had to use the glyph previously. You're not caring all that much. You finished up your Manta style now at this stage, so yeah. Good luck trying to deal with Natsumi. Lelouch has done his job in the early game. Him, Mavis, as well as Xavier's has to be the MVP of this game. So many clutch saves, so much enabling the Storm Spirit to consistently be present on the map. It's a crazy amount of work that he's able to get done. And now Mavis is level 12 as well. So the Keen Optic, the Veil, you're probably about to die here, Steelay.
I was going to try and TP in, but actually just wants to reposition with his blink. Meanwhile, mid lane, forcing Lelouch. The duo once again cutting away the life of Young PH. That's the 6th death of the game here for the Void Spirit. Lelouch needs more blood. This dude is a shark. Anyone on the map is just jumping.
He's got that regen still ticking. Was just seeing if he could get anything from it, but it's going to wear out now, so he might play a little bit more reserved until Zorain walks on forward to try and get the D-Ward. See you later, Disruptor.
Well, you're calling Lelouch a one-trick pony with the Storm Spirit. Who gives a damn if he's a one-trick pony if he's just going to go 14, 2, and 8?
Yeah.
You don't ban it, you make the mistake. That's your fault.
And you knew it was coming as well, right? Yeah. Like, I feel like they could have probably bat-rided super early on into the piece.
Again, just another relocate. It's like Radiant just splitting up their forces across the map. Multiple by the triangle. to prevent the Phantom Assassin Battle Fury from getting any fun, and then the rest of Polaris is just kind of stalking PA and trying to catch her out on a stray jungle camp or a creep wave as well. It's just beautiful stuff from Radiant.
What did they even ban out this game? I forget on Yangon. Because I feel like maybe not the Storm, but you got to get rid of the IO, surely.
In the first phase? Are you asking what the ban?
If you're going to give up that first pick.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. The jump in,
See you later, Shadow.
By Shadow Demon. Now they've also been able to find out where the Void Spirit's positioning. When it's getting to a stage where you're thinking about calling it, the Lelouch, he does have no cares in the world. Just dives deep and easy underneath the tier 4 towers. 16, 2, and 9. And it feels like it's just starting to be a consistent thing for Lelouch and Polaris' position too with his KDA. And he's always excelling in games.
Yep, and you got that 5-man group up, 5v2, creep waves pushing in. You gotta call it. Like, you've been outdrafted, you haven't respected what ended up beating you in game number 1. Sure, it was close, but I feel like Polaris have addressed some of the weaknesses that they had with something that was just next to unbeatable.
Last attempt. Try and stall this out. 5 heroes alive, taking defense inside the base. Is now K-Sage is getting evaporated before the BKB, but meanwhile it's just giving Lelouch all the time in the world to deal with the backline as well. They'll kill off the life of the Storm Spirit, but the consequence is ever so dear for the boys on Yangon. 4 down, and 2 full sets
went for the relocate on the Storm Spirit, but unfortunately, Ogre walked in his place, so he ended up relocating back the Ogre. Unfortunate, but it still results in 2 lanes of barracks. This should be, I mean, even the PA, you've given her the space to be able to get her farming item and her survivability item. You don't have your damage item.
You got P up in 20 seconds. A solo static Storm to try and deal with the Ogre, but again, it just gives now the rest of Polaris an opportunity to jump to support. No one even dies through that combo as well. And when you're unable to deal with Xavius, we see the big issues. Maybe now, force inside the Fountain. It looks like they just need that extra, your hero aspect from the Fountain to try and provide the damage. As the throne's exposed, they're buying back left, right, and center, but looks like, it's going to be such a costly investment to turn this one back around. That team is like, alright, I'll just BKB TPR. They're unable to deal with that. Maybe they'll catch up my IO. Oh, surely you
3 buybacks though.
Yeah.
Roche up in 40 seconds when all of these respawns are looking to happen. Probably not feeling super confident considering you don't have the outpost, you don't have any tier 2 towers, super creeps are pushing into your base. It's, alright, what's the win prob?
1%. Wowie.
Blessings upon a loyal
Was I supposed to guess that?
Yes, and you've ruined it entirely, but it's okay.
Well,
I'll forgive you, it is 215.
You also didn't like... The way you worded it wasn't as much as like, just guess.
Don't try and gaslight me again.
No, come on, are you being serious? You're like, what's the win prop? It's just, it was like a casual, like, just a big fight broke out, a team's getting done.
I don't talk to myself, okay? I'm asking you a question. You're here on this journey with me.
I said 1%, I answered your question. That was a good prediction. I got a really good ward nearby. Who do you look to jump?
I mean, that's me. Doesn't have
Xavius
BKB
as
for
well.
5 seconds. That'd be huge, but they've delayed it too long.
They have. Shadow Demon. Looks like the sacrifice, but like you said prior,
Buyback.
there were so many buybacks, so all these deaths going to be such a long duration. Mars dropping a defensive arena. It does give him enough time for the blink to be back up off cooldown.
I don't even care. You just go Roche. It's the second one. Who do you give it to?
The Shard? Or the Aegis?
let's give it to Mavis. Make it a little bit of fun. You know, Fire Shield. It's going to be nice against a PA.
Sure.
Ooh, not the Luna. Come on, come on. You got to assert yourself, Mavis. You got to say, that is my Shard.
I think he's the most farmed he's ever seen at this stage in the game in quite some time.
Really more fun than the Mars at 27 minutes. You love to see it.
Or you hate to see it.
No, you love to see it.
Okay, you love to see it. Force. Look at this.
Long zip.
How much damage is it going to do?
Into the fountain.
Oh, no, what's going on, Lelouch?
Is under
They don't even get the ages.
Oh, they're testing themselves. They're saying, how good are the relocate powers?
destruction.
How good are the reactions? You know, we're going into Division 1. We have to see if us as a team have the reactions to go against some of the best in Southeast Asia. I mean, you lost
That's a little
Force.
team, though.
Natsumi's gone as well. Again, the
Yeah,
throne's
just-
exposed. The creep's doing so
no.
much damage. Storm Spirit as well. Even Mavis is like, all right, it's my job just to kill off the Ancient. But they are stalling on Yangon. I mean, now they can turn to blow up Mavis. KSH somehow still alive. The strike out to safety is Lelouch. Zip down, up and forward. There's nothing they can do. The Storm Spirit, he's pretty much going to end this
1v5?
game. There's a 1v5. He gets an Ultra. Come on. Not enough mana, and they call it quits to not give him that opportunity for the Rampage. Go!
Rampage, please. He
Go
asked
for it,
for it.
Lelouch. Come on!
Oh, boo.
Oh.
Radiant victory.
Even the caps lock laugh. But, well, 22, 3, and 12 on the Storm Spirit IO combination that they first phased against you, and you didn't think to address it. So there's that.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
Okay, so I just have to imagine they felt like their Mars Disruptor was an answer. Which I don't disagree with. Like, I think it's you want AoE teamfight control versus an IO, and it's a lot of control versus
Didn't work in
Storm Spirit.
game 1.
It didn't. I wonder if the issue is like the rest of their heroes. I really don't hate the opener. I think the issues is their 3 picks afterwards. But
I think you're very happy picking Mars Disruptor in a lot of drafts, but you saw how effective the IO was. So just ban it. You know, like what are they going to pick in exchange? I think they banned out the Weaver. That could still go, but I don't think you're as worried about the Bane. It doesn't change the way that Dota is played as much as this IO does, just allowing Lelouch to stay on the map for as long as he did.
yeah, it was. I mean, Polaris. Xavier's 0, 6, and 28. Who really cares about getting no kills and a couple of deaths? My guy played.
He died in the laning stage. I want to see how many times did he actually die other than that last fight past the laning stage. Yeah, at
Not a lot.
10.5 minutes, he had 4 of those deaths, and one of them was the very end. So he only died once outside of that. I think that's the biggest issue of this game. You're not killing the IO, you're enabling the Storm so much.
Yeah, and whether this was just Xavier's positioning or just Yangon not looking to target Xavier's is also, a story that they'll need to answer. They'll need to look back and see how we can deal with this further, because maybe they just feel like, all right, whenever we come against Polaris, we have to swap the bans. Io's just gone, Xavier's, and I mean, this is not going to be their only Io strategy as well, which is the Io Storm Spirit. There's going to be a plethora of things that you can run with the Io, which is still a concept that can break Dota. And we see today
But for
Polaris.
how long?
How long?
How long? We
Question.
only got a week left of it. You never know.
Io's not too strong at the moment. I don't think he's going to get nerfed. All right, well, like Danog, if he was super strong, he'd be like first phased everywhere. He's not at the stage where he was a while ago.
He is a lot. He is first phased a lot.
That is
It's
true.
like it's
That is
team
true.
specific a little bit more, but I feel like he's certainly in the top 10 heroes right now.
Tomorrow we got some hype as series. My God, Motivate taking on Team Orca. We got SMG taking on Polaris, and that's a hype one. I'm really excited to see how
Execration Yangon
Polaris.
as well.
And then last one, Execration Yangon. I'm really excited to see how Orca and Polaris are able to fare. I know Motivate's not in Division 1 anymore, but against these teams, I know I'm sure they've scrimmed, but we, of course, haven't had that, information to be able to see how these, really up-and-coming teams are able to fare versus some of the teams at the top at the moment. But for Danog and I, that's going to be it for tonight. We've had some 3 incredible best of 2s. We kicked off with T1 tying it against Execration. Logan, they were able to beat Motivate 2-0, and then Polaris as well, beating Yangon 2-0 as well. So the group stage will continue at the same time tomorrow. Tune back in for some more BTS Pro Series 10 action.